One day in 1785, a woman writhed in pain in a hospital bed at the Royal Infirmary of Edinburgh. And surrounding her on all sides were all these nurses. This woman was in labor, and she'd been in labor for several hours, and so far, it was not going well. The staff determines that her baby's skull is so big that the baby is not able to exit her body. The baby is stuck in her birth canal. Back in 1785, C-sections did exist, but they were extremely dangerous to the mother. It was basically a death sentence for the mother. And at some point, one of the nurses left the room, and a couple of minutes later, she came back with this gray-haired surgeon. And he just says, everything's gonna be fine because I have a brand new piece of technology that's gonna save your lives. Dr. John Aitken was one of the leading doctors at this hospital. And so when he kind of explained this piece of technology to this totally distraught woman who can barely focus, she's relieved and she's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Dr. John Aitken, he leaves the room, and when he comes back, he's now carrying this instrument. And suddenly the woman, when she sees the instrument, she goes from being relieved to being downright horrified. The staff literally held her down, basically strapped her to the bed, and then Dr. John Aitken said, okay, here we go, and he turns on this instrument, and this woman, she's already in blinding pain, but when he begins to apply this instrument to her body, the pain somehow becomes even worse. And then suddenly, when it feels like it literally can't get any worse than this, it all kind of fades for a second, and she hears this sound that she did not expect to hear. It was the sound of a baby crying. Her baby had just been successfully extracted from her stomach. And amazingly, she was okay too. So the procedure that this woman underwent was known as a symphysiotomy. And the procedure itself had been around since, the 17th century. This was a procedure used when a baby got stuck in the birth canal. And the way this procedure worked is they would go in and sever the joint called the pubic symphysis, which connects the left and right pelvis bones. This piece of technology made the symphysiotomy basically more targeted and more efficient. Smaller incision, much faster, and a higher success rate. And so despite the fact that Aitken's invention sort of looked really barbaric, it caught on very quickly and sort of became the standard. And it would remain that way until about the turn of the 20th century, which is when C-sections became much safer, which meant the need for symphysiotomies decreased dramatically. And so basically this tool sort of faded into obscurity until another group, completely unrelated to medicine, found a very specific use for this instrument. And that group were lumberjacks. They found that this tool was also really good at cutting down trees. The device that Dr. John Aitken invented for medicine was actually just a chainsaw.